Oh boy, Bill Gates was just shut down in Africa and he's immediately turned his sights towards the US again. Now, of course, most common people around the globe hate Bill Gates and his antics. However, despite all this blowback, he's been able to continue his shady programs because the governments often end up shaking hands with him. We also know that he loves running these programs in Africa.
Billionaire philanthropist and Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates has been sharing his plans of spending $5 billion on the continent in the next 5 years.
Well, those programs might not survive for too long because President Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso has outlawed his famous target malaria program in his country.
And our last story is from Burkina Faso, where the program to curb malaria, funded by billionaire Bill Gates, has been suspended by the military junta.
This is huge, and you have to look deeper to understand why. You see, President Traore has quickly become the most popular leader on the continent. And the reason for his rise is simple. He doesn't want Western countries like France to influence Burkina Faso or the rest of Africa.
We African heads of state must stop behaving like puppets who dance every time the imperialists pull the strings.
So when this kind of populist leader says that Bill Gates and his programs are worsening the malaria situation, people listen. That's why I won't be surprised at all if other countries also start ending this and other programs, and that will hurt Bill Gates a lot. Don't forget, he has a factory that's creating millions of GMO mosquitoes every week.
I'm Scott O'Neill here in Medellin, Colombia today, and I'm at the world's biggest mosquito factory for the World Mosquito Program. We're making in here 30 million mosquitoes a week.
Bacteria called Wolbachia gets introduced into the mosquito. It stops their ability to transmit dengue. We release mosquitoes that have Wolbachia. Now they go and mate, and Wolbachia gets passed into the wild mosquito population.
And before you ask, yes, we have also been spraying GMO mosquitoes in America for years. Now, just imagine if no country allows Bill to release these millions of mosquitoes within their borders. That will be a huge setback for him, and that's probably why he's teaming up with Larry Fink to start a different kind of invasion of America.
It's very exciting that we've got 7 founding partners here for Catalyst. These are companies that care about climate.
Two of you in the months ahead, are you optimistic that you'll be able to bring other leaders, other companies into this project?
It actually accelerates the conversation within these companies, and in most cases they're all saying we want to be a part of it.
So basically, these two evil masterminds are now pushing a lot of big companies to get on board with a new kind of climate initiative. Folks, we already know that BlackRock used a similar tactic to raise the utility bills for millions and millions of Americans.
We just filed a lawsuit against State Street Bank, Vanguard, and BlackRock for colluding, buying up shares, large numbers of shares to increase the price of coal by cutting production. They make a lot of money. Unfortunately for consumers, when that occurs, that means that consumers are paying a lot more for energy. And under federal law and some state law, that's illegal. And we were joined by 10 other states in filing this lawsuit.
So we definitely have to keep an eye on these two, especially since Bill Gates has promised to give nearly $200 billion to fulfill his plans. Meanwhile, Larry Fink took over the World Economic Forum to get the absolute control he needs to get things done. Now, moving on, I want to talk about this mass deployment situation because the people on social media are going nuts and uploading more and more videos of troops on the ground. Now, at the time of this recording, Washington, D.C. is the only city where the National Guard has officially been deployed, and some of them have even been armed. But it is looking more and more likely that in the next few days, we will see our troops patrolling more and more cities. Now, these videos are especially interesting because they come right after President Trump made it clear that he wants the National Guard and federal agencies to clean up crime-ridden places like Chicago and Baltimore as well.
To do, we have to. And after we do this, we'll go to another location and we'll make it safe also. We're going to make our country very safe. We're going to make our cities very, very safe. Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this. And it won't even be tough. And the people in Chicago, Mr. Vice President, are screaming for us to come. They're wearing red hats, just like this one.
President Donald J. Trump. Thank you, President Trump, for hearing us, for listening to us. We need you here in Chicago.
And for once, he seems to have the support of his vice president as well as many GOP congressmen.
Nobody likes crime. Republicans don't like crime. Democrats don't like crime. Independents don't like crime. Why are Democratic governors doing everything in their power to make crime easier to do in their cities? It doesn't make an ounce of sense to me. But, Mr. President, I appreciate you being willing to help. And I hope these governors take you up on the offer because we should clean up all of America's streets. It's the right of every American to live in safety and comfort in their community.
Now, some Democratic governors are fighting back and trying to make a case against such a deployment.
It's a direct violation of the 10th Amendment, and for a party that talks about state rights, it's amazing how they're having such a big government approach in the way they're conducting public safety.
But the problem is that the president has received a lot of praise from D.C. natives for his deployment of the National Guard.
No murders for the entire weekend. That is insane. And to think that the left would protest against that.
I feel safer. I do. It doesn't bother me at all. I just feel more military police presence there are. I just feel like I'm more inclined to be downtown more often than I usually am, especially in the evenings.
Clearly, a lot of people feel safer with these soldiers around. CNN has also admitted that the crime rate has gone down in this short duration. So I think the president is in a prime position to send troops to the other blue cities as well. And yes, I still think we need to empower the police instead of the FBI, but in some of these blue states, the police are getting hammered by budget cuts, so this deployment might be the only way to truly deal with violent criminals once and for all. As for these outspoken governors, they have no spine whatsoever. Let me just show you how Governor Wes Moore greets the president behind the scenes.
Mr. President, welcome back to Maryland, sir. Welcome back to Maryland. It's good to see you.
In person, too.
Thank you, sir. Great to see you. Great to see you. And great to have you back here.
And you're telling us this guy is going to stop Donald Trump? Now, next up, I want to talk about what the EPA director has just confirmed.
There are these activities to make changes to the stratosphere or the lower atmosphere and try to deflect sun rays from hitting the Earth, talking about putting sulfur dioxide, a lot of it, for a long time, into the upper atmosphere, which, by the way, turns into acid rain.
Folks, some time ago I shared an article about how a hostile nation can dim the sun to hurt us. What if hostile nations could literally dim the sun to attack us? Sounds insane until you realize the UK government just admitted it's a real concern. According to a letter reported by The Telegraph, the UK fears that countries like Russia could weaponize solar geoengineering, specifically something called solar radiation modification, SRM. It's a process where reflective aerosols are pumped into the upper atmosphere to bounce sunlight away from Earth, and yes, it's real. The UK is even funding a £50 million project to study it. But here's the catch. SRM doesn't just cool the planet, it can disrupt rainfall patterns, alter global temperatures, and potentially collapse agricultural systems. A 2021 Nature study showed SRM could cause unpredictable weather shifts across entire continents. months. And if a rogue nation used it without coordination, it could trigger droughts, floods, or food shortages, and no one could stop it. Some experts, like Lieutenant General Richard Nugi, are skeptical, saying it's too expensive to use it as a weapon. But think about it. Russia has already used hybrid tactics like weaponizing migration flows into Europe. Why not climb it as the next battlefield? This wouldn't leave a crater, it wouldn't trigger alarms, but it could silently destabilize entire regions. The sky wouldn't look different, but your crops fail, your energy grid crashes, your people panic. And here's the scary part. There's no international agreement banning SRM use. No watchdog, no consequences. So if someone starts spraying the skies, how would we even know? Well, it turns out we are doing the same damn thing, and the EPA even knows about it. No wonder people are reporting strange grayish skies all over this country. So the question is, when is the EPA gonna stop this madness? I know they're focused on bringing back asbestos and dangerous herbicides, but surely they can find some time to stop the spraying of dangerous chemicals into our skies. Now, I want to end this video by sharing a rather interesting clip with you.
And I would like to mention that the only remaining divided nation in the world is the Korean Peninsula. And I would like to ask for your role in establishing peace on the Korean Peninsula. So I look forward to your meeting with Chairman Kim Jong-un and construction of a Trump Tower in North Korea and playing golf at that place.
아마 기다리고 있을 것 같습니다. 기다리고 있을 것 같습니다.
So I believe he will be waiting for you.
You see, this isn't random. Of course, the media says that the South Korean president made this joke since the president has a not-so-bad relationship with the North Korean dictator. However, I think President Lee said this because of what President Trump told the reporters earlier.
We have over 40,000 troops in South Korea. As you know, South Korea agreed to pay for that during my last term, and then when Biden came in, they complained to Biden that I wasn't a nice person, and he agreed not to pay. He gave up billions of dollars. We were getting paid billions of dollars, but then Biden ended that for whatever reason. It's unbelievable that he did. But we have a very good relationship militarily. They would say, but we gave you land. I said, no, you didn't. You lease us land. There's a big difference between giving and leasing. And maybe one of the things I'd like to do is ask them to give us ownership of the land where we have the big fort. You know, we spent a lot of money building a fort, and there was a contribution made by South Korea, but I would like to see if we could get rid of the lease and get ownership of the land where we have a massive military base.
Well, if we are never going to vacate these foreign bases, and if we're going to continue giving subsidized weapons to these countries, I think it's only fair that we get to own the land underneath those military bases. And trust me, these countries are happily going to agree to it since they're getting so much money from our war-hungry politicians that they're the only winners in this deal. Let me know what you guys think about today's video. Do you think we should allow Bill Gates and Larry Fink to team up like that? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching today's video and have yourself a wonderful day.